Welcome everyone from around the world. Cyril and I are very excited to host you today for an exciting webinar about how we power Agentforce agents with first-party buyer intent data and intelligence. I say, Cyril, we dive right in. Maybe a quick note about us. So I'm Philip. I'm a co-founder here at SalesWings. SalesWings is a Salesforce certified ISV. We have six Salesforce certifications. And SalesWings is a behavioral intelligence platform that helps our customers optimize the entire funnel from leveraging data for personalization, aligning marketing and sales intelligence, and all the way down to behavioral reporting and analytics. And Cyril, you were I want to say almost a famous person on the ecosystem, 5 times Salesforce MVP. Tell us a bit about yourself and about the beautiful company you've built with Mavericx.
Yeah, thank you, first of all, for that opportunity. Thank you to the audience joining that webinar. So my name is Cyril, CEO, co-founder of Mavericx. So we are a Salesforce implementation partner based in Switzerland and supporting customers globally. And on top of that, I am also Salesforce MVP, and it is also something that I really love to do is sharing with the community. So it is exactly why I'm here today to share with the audience. And you said that I'm now in the ecosystem. You could have said I'm a kind of dinosaur. It would have been okay.
That's right. No, great. Great to hear and to have you. So we have a packed agenda. We're not going to spend a lot of time here. We're going to start with some agent definitions and use cases to get everybody on the same page. And then, Cyril, you're going to present some of the key success factors. I would say a lot of companies right now are getting started, of course, with Agentforce.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go into the main topic, which is how we leverage behavioral intelligence to have very powerful and effective commercial agents. In the end, if we have some time, QA and closing. If you have questions, drop them into the chat. And before we get started, we have a little question for you. So you should be seeing now a little poll here. Tell us about your plans for this year. Really just curious, honestly, about where everybody is. And I know you're in many parts of this world, so it's going to be interesting. So
Yeah,
just
we are seeing a lot of FOMO around AI. We have some people very early implementation that jumped very early stage. So curious to see where you currently are.
right. Great. We'll give it 8 more seconds. Then we'll be sharing the results in an email. Give us a few days to send those out, but you'll be getting the recording, of course, and everything. Okay, we're ending this poll. Let's go into some of these definitions. So we're reading about bots, we're reading about co-pilots, agents, and well, Skynet maybe somewhere down the road, hopefully not. But let's demystify this a bit, Cyril. Tell us about bots.
Yeah, as we just said, we are going through AI revolution, so it's not something that just rise up and super mature. So we had different stages, different waves, and the first one was about predictive AI. So how to analyze past data to try to predict the future. And with that phase, the first concept was the concept of bots, and the bots came to also analyze past data and find answer to answer questions. And the first technique that they use was natural language processing, so you can talk naturally with the bot. But they're in a way also limited to fixed rules or menu decision trees. So it was the first generation. And I'm sure that you already have faced some experience on different websites where you started to ask a question that is not properly in the menu, so the bot is lost, or you are stuck in the infinite loop. Not the best experience. Still, it was the first version to interact and to leverage the data that you have already stored in your CRM or new knowledge base. So it was already a good start. But the next phase was to leverage the general generative AI capability.
Yeah. And as you've said it, I think we've all engaged with bots. In fact, had a somewhat bad bot experience recently. I was talking to this bot on a website, and I honestly first thought it was a person, but very quickly realized it's not. And I think it's important to mention bots can be on different channels as well. You can have website chat bots, but of course, it can go a lot further. And I would say the peak of the bot age, and of course, bots are still around, and bots are part of this agentic AI, is robotic process automation, which then goes already very, very far. But there are limits to that. And let's go next now and talk about copilots. Copilot, Cyril, what is a copilot?
Yeah, the copilot, in a way, they're already an agent, so they can work with you. But the thing compared to the bot, they are able to generate content. So they are leveraging generative AI to the capability to analyze a data set, use that data set to create something new. So this is the main difference. They are smart. They are tailored assistant. Um, they can understand the question that you're raising without having to rely only on decision trees, or any menu. So this is a better experience. Plus, as I said, they're able to execute action and generate content. So this is the new thing around Copilot. And the other thing, the specificity is they are used on a specific context that are what we call the prompt-based requests. So you might have used OpenAI ChatGPT, so you know what a prompt is the way you give context and you ask your question, and the system is able to understand that, like similarly like you were speaking to a human. So you can see those copilot as a personal assistant that will be able to solve and execute actions for you.
That's right. And I think very importantly here as well is that co-pilots are typically facing your team. They're assisting your team internally. And, CEOs and executives, they have assistants and so on. But the beautiful thing now is that we will very soon be able to give an assistant to every team member in the company, starting with the intern. Why not give an intern an assistant, making him 20, 30, 40% more productive? And the first example you can see here on the screen is the sales coach from Salesforce, which is honestly a really amazing co-pilot, which accelerates ramp-up time of new reps, takes good reps to being great reps by coaching them around negotiation or presentation, whether that's in a kind of a playful environment or on an actual presentation with the customer by giving tips and surfacing information based on what he or she receives. Now, the second example, and we will demo that to you today, or a second example is the SalesWings Sales Copilot, which we have launched last year. Now, the AI assistant of SalesWings is a copilot for sales reps. What it does is it reduces time on lead and account qualification. It puts key information at the fingertips, such as competitor information or financial information. And it's able to access also a broader data set within Salesforce, such as activity history or opportunity data, but essentially helps a rep be more effective in how they engage their buyers and really being faster with some of the more tedious tasks. Now, come-in agents. So come-in agents comes in Agentforce. Cyril, give us the overview of what it is really an agent.
Yeah, so when we were talking agents, we're talking autonomous agents. And actually, they are the concept that arrived with the agentic AI wave. So a new concept. And here again, it's much more than a copilot. Not just here to assist you, but to take actions. It has the capability to solve the problem, to know your business. You have access to a lot of data sets. It can plan. It can also reason based on a specific context to realize tasks and takes actions, as I said. Plus, it can also scale on demand. So another value of agents So you can see them as your coworker, but we can say your coworkers. And one differentiator here, the agent can then interact with a human agent or with another autonomous agent.
And I think that's an incredible part. And I remember last year, I've seen an example of a team of software development agents that were instructed to build a little app. It was, in fact, quite a silly little ping pong app, but it was done in just a few minutes. And it was literally different agents collaborating with each other. And I think what's a great way, as we're going to explore use cases and as we're as you, the audience, is thinking about opportunities, is think of an agent like a human colleague, right? They're not going to be that smart. They're not going to be, as agile yet as a human. But when you think about how within different departments and different roles, agents can support, think about as if you were hiring these agents. And today, of course, we're talking about commercial agents. So sales, success, marketing. So what about a customer support agent that not only answers certain questions, but can reason, like you said, and possibly detect cross-selling opportunities by understanding the intent a buyer has been showing on your website? And then not only detect that, but notify the right person within the organization, maybe even create that opportunity for the buyer, for the rep alongside. Marketing agents. So you have your customer journey. As part of that, you will be able to deploy agents, whether these are in fact just bots or agents. And then as they detect there is like strong interest to buy, curiosity, these agents are able to then route qualified leads based on behavioral insights like lead scoring or account-based scoring, and route that rep to the lead to the right sales rep. SDR agents, another commercial agent. So Salesforce has its SDR agent that you can tailor, that you can put to work. Very exciting solution. Now, again, in order not to alienate the buyer, we want to give that human touch, have the agent understand the behavior. And then once the SDR agent understands, well, now it's time to schedule a demo, there can be that handoff from an SDR agent to a real life person. Now, let's move on, checking the time. This is so exciting. We keep talking. Let's have a look a bit at the key success factors for you as you're exploring the agent opportunities. And we have a little poll for here again. Before we get started, we're curious about where do you see the biggest challenges in your organization or maybe yourself as you're going into this agentic AI phase and really benefiting from this technological revolution. So you should be seeing the poll right now. Yes.
Yep.
Answers coming in. So you see there's a range. By the way, this is only a selection, so there may be other ones. We're keen to hear about it. Feel free to send us your how you feel about everything. So we got data. Not a surprise is number one. That's great. So today we talk about data. We'll just give it a few more seconds here. And we're ending the poll. Okay, again, you'll get the results in an email. Cyril, tell us, where do you see the key success factors? Let's maybe start right here.
Yeah. I thought the first thing that you need and you have to think about is the use case. So of course, we have FOMO. Maybe your manager is asking you to go with AI, but you have to define the use case. So what action should have to be done? So the first thing is the role. So your agent, we said, see the agent as your coworker. So your coworker is working on a specific service or department. He has a specific role. So the same thing for an agent, you will have to define a role. And if we are speaking Salesforce, you will assign a role to that agent to give him access to specific permissions and access to the data. Talking about data, the data is needed to allow your agents to know stuff. So it's a context, but it's also access to your knowledge base. So how to understand the context of the request, but how to solve that request with any knowledge that you already have in your system. Based on that knowledge, you will have to take actions. So here it's, what do you want your agents to do? So you are defining exactly what your agent will be able to perform. And on top of this, you will also define specifically the limits. So you don't want your agents to try to solve something that is not allowed to. So you will have the specific guardrails to limit what your agent can do or cannot. Last but not least, that agent, you will define also where they can work. I mean, how you can activate, how you can interact with them. Would it be an internal agent, and the channel will be your internal CRM? Would it be an external agent available on your website, WhatsApp channels? So you will define how to activate and interact with your agents. And all of this is a use case that you will need data, because there is no magic here. AI only as good as your data. So you need to keep in mind that you will have to connect data, collect information, collect knowledge, procedures, behaviors to bring enough context to your AI in order your agents to be relevant.
That's right. And like we said when we were preparing this webinar yesterday, agents don't know what they don't know, right?
Yes.
Data is really what they know. And again, if you think about customer-facing agents, the more they understand, the more empathetic they can be also towards the customer's request or how to be relevant and so on. So data, and by the way, most of you have considered data being the biggest challenge. Absolutely, but that's also really where you have a great opportunity. So yeah, think big, Cyril. That's
Yes,
where it
so
all starts.
we were talking about the keys to success now. When you want to implement your first agent. So the first thing, as we said, is define the use case. You need to see a value, you need to see a specific scope for your agents to work on. But then how to implement this? So the first thing is think big. So you need to define the global roadmap. You don't need to limit your thinking process based on the technology. And the first reason is because the technology is moving so fast. Imagine where we were 2 years ago on AI, and we don't know where we will be in maybe in 2 months. So don't limit about the technology. Just think about the use cases and try to imagine how AI can help you in your day-to-day job tomorrow. Based on that think big roadmap, you will have to start small. If you want that initiative to be a success, you need to start with a small piece that can be digested and deployed very fast to see the value and to onboard with your team, with your customers, with your employees. So this is the key mindset that you need to have. Don't limit your thinking process, but when you start to implement, start small and then iterate to bring value as fast as possible.
That's right. And I think you made a very important point with, as you think about what is possible, don't think about how you're going to do that.
Yep.
It's evolving extremely fast. There's great experts in the ecosystem. And right now, I see that both the customers, the consultants, and Salesforce are learning together. It's really about exchange. So I encourage everybody to join webinars like this and reach out to partners and brainstorm really where everything can go. And I think this use case prioritization matrix you have put together is really great. And the quick wins are right at the top.
Yeah, you have defined different use cases. So you have all of set of use cases in your backlog. How do you start? Where do you start? So the thing is, of course, you would like to bring the most business value to your employees, to your companies, or to your customers. So try to group them, bucket them into the quick wins, the one that are great for the business value, but quite easy to implement. Then you can have the strategic one, tactical one, not prioritized one. But think again, how to move fast and why. So what are the benefits of such initiative? The very first layer of that initiative, you will validate that it is feasible. So if you start small, you will just make it concrete. You will check it is feasible. You will gain business value. So then you can onboard your sponsors and ensure additional budgets. Another benefit when you start small is to start to facilitate change management and adoption. So you will have few pieces that you will bring and you will give to your either employees or customers. And so it's not a big change for them. And they will see the value and then they will be open to additional use cases. Of course, if you start small with quick wins, you minimize the risks. So you will not spend a lot of time, a huge amount of budget. So you start with something like you can be implemented fast and bring a lot of visibility and value. So you minimize the risks. A fourth benefit here is to validate the feasibility on the technical point of view. Where are the data? Do I have access to the data? Do I need to check additional data? And the last one is when you implement the first quick wins, you already have your backlog that you have identified. So now you know how to move next, and you have learned from the first implementation, and you see which one could bring more value or which one could be an easy win after this one.
These are great insights, and data being one of the key challenges, I think, as you think big and then determine where can I start small and what are these quick benefits, look at the data you currently have and the low-hanging fruits. And we're going to now look a little bit more concretely into how behavioral data that you have or that you can quickly acquire will help you deploy initial use cases with commercial agents. Now, we have a little quiz for you to see here. So what are some examples of first-party intent insights? So behavioral insights that you could leverage. And I'll give you a tip. There are three answers that are correct. So I'll let you answer these. So let you read a bit here.
It's not an all of the above type of question.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. So we got mostly correct answers, but see, we have a good audience here. Great. So again, we'll be sharing these answers in our follow-up email. Give it just 5 more seconds here, and the poll is closing. All right, let's dive into behavioral intelligence. And I figure I'd tell you guys a story here. And the easiest way to think about what behavioral or why is behavioral data so powerful is if you think about your website and all the digital data you have as like a physical showroom. Here we have an automotive showroom, but this could be, at an event or another sort of commercial environment. Now imagine that a buyer walks in, maybe that's even you. Did you ever see a sales agent blindfolded, not looking at what you are actually checking out? Definitely not. So the same way, and again, so you see my hint, it's an agent. So agents need to understand, and there's so much power in behavioral science, really, but also the insights we can gain. First of all, think about buying signals. Is this person a repeat visitor? Is there frequent interest, recent interest? That's really critical because it's going to change the approach of that particular agent. Intent signals. What do they want? What's the next best step here? Well, maybe they show curiosity about a possible test drive. Now, of course, they can talk to a clerk. Online, there is probably a dedicated section where you can book that appointment. And again, an appointment in any different industry. Very concrete product interests or service interests. If you go to an automotive showroom, you sit in a beautiful convertible, a sales rep is not going to come and offer you a test ride in the SUV. It just doesn't make any sense. So if you want your agents and your team really understand how to best advise a buyer and how to drive commercial value, they need to understand that intent. Upselling, of course, another great example. Somebody reading about here financial leasing opportunities from that car company is another insight, all the way down to affinities such as colors of interest, options, and whatnot. But you see, from real life example, you can gain a lot of understanding. And the very first step is to collect this behavioral data. And in 2025, it's really not about taking an SDK and coding and investing into data collection. There are solutions. SalesWings is one of them, which allow you to quickly, effortlessly, but still flexibly collect a rich amount of behavioral data. So detailed web engagement, the videos they're watching, email and campaign engagement, regardless of which marketing platform you're using, or data you ingest over the API. But just think about all the buyer, all this behavior, and it's the most trusted data you can get because it's created by the customer, right? It's authentic. They go, they look, they spend time because they're genuinely interested, and the data needs to be trusted. And Cyril, we had a great stat yesterday, remind me, about the trust in data in organizations. I think it was about 60% that are not confident with the data they currently have, right?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. So 60% approximately of the customer that don't trust the company, how they will be using their data. So do you see the impact? There will not be easy to give you information. So if you only rely on declarative information, you will miss a lot because they will not give you a lot of information. So you need also to understand their behavior to give you additional signals and insights.
That's right. So first-party behavioral data collection and strategy, first-party data strategy is, of course, very close to your AI strategy. Now, the second step is now you have a very large amount of data, behavioral data, customer journeys are very diverse, complex, and sometimes we look at billions of data points we're receiving. So the second step is really discovering these key insights and this key intent from the vast amount of data. I've shown you some of these. So maybe there's some initial product interest. Maybe there's growing interest. So an agent needs to understand, is it time to hand it off to a human? Is it time to propose maybe a demo, maybe a visit, maybe a particular meeting? Of course, here we refer to predictive scoring, but also multiple lead scoring categories to understand where is the biggest interest. Buying signals, again, very concretely. Think about an SDR agent that knows that a person was showing interest in a test drive or in booking an appointment, but then doesn't go through. That allows you to increase conversion on digital, on the website, but also on the sales side. Leasing, upselling opportunities we talked about. But what about expansion? Well, maybe this car buyer works at a company checking out corporate fleet management offers. This is a way to increase customer lifetime value if the agent understands that real intent. And really, everyone, this is also a technical challenge. So SalesWings and good behavioral intelligence platforms work with the technical possibilities. So what SalesWings is doing is it's bringing these distilled key insights into the Salesforce platform. We make that accessible to the full Salesforce platform, including Sales Cloud, Data Cloud, etc., Marketing Cloud, and of course now Agentforce, because you cannot bring 1 billion data points into Salesforce. You may bring that into Data Cloud, but Data Cloud is not really built to analyze real-time data at scale in a way that's really cost effective. So it's great at many things, including activating, of course, the audiences you're building with that information. But here's why SalesWings brings only distilled key insights in that works technically great, cost effective, and is accessible in many ways. So collect, discover, distill, get these key insights, and activate them with your agents and help them really be effective. Now we're going to look, so here, just bringing back this particular slide here, commercial agents, we mentioned them before. Again, now customer support agents, now you know how they can detect cross-selling opportunities for sales. Marketing agents collaborating with sales, and SDR agents really knowing when it's time to schedule a demo. So here's how agents drive commercial value for you and are no longer a cost center. Now, as you explore your quick wins, as you're thinking about where do I get started and where do I want to go, it's also a build or buy decision. So of course, in the past, you were evaluating some software, considering maybe custom building something. Well, just like that with agents and AI, you can build now with Agentforce, or you can buy. Buying purpose-built agents have benefits. They're ready to launch, they're pre-built, they're cost-effective, etc. Whereas building, and here we look at, of course, Agentforce is highly customizable, very versatile, and can really allow you to deploy, manage a growing agent workforce over time. So these are is a key decision. They're complementary. They're non-exclusive as well. I think that's important to mention. And we will show you now how this looks with two SalesWings offerings. I'm just checking the time. I'm moving over now to my Salesforce environment. Cyril, just confirm you can see it, because switching the screen sometimes. There you go. So here I'm in Sales Cloud. So SalesWings, of course, brings these insights into SalesWings on the lead record, contact accounts, and opportunities. Data Cloud has full access to it. The first thing I wanted to show you is how some of that raw data looks here. Here we have an asset management company. This is, of course, a demo contact. But you can see here we have these rich insights. These are mostly page views, but remember, we can really bring in any type of data, any type of custom events, etc. And we bring the vast amount of data in a zero-copy approach. So you can still surface that as marketing-powered sales insights to help the sales reps understand. But here we see some of these key insights. Well, this is a news and insights reader. They read a lot. Cares about sustainability as a corporate topic. There were buying signals, like there is concrete contact intent in the recent days, and very concretely, equity funds and bond funds have been the biggest particular interest. Furthermore, we can see the scoring. So multi-dimensional scoring allows me here to understand very quickly asset management. That's where the big interest is. But we have other interests, maybe annex interests that I need to consider. So now I'm a sales rep. So well, if you're an agent, the same information is going to be useful. Now I'm moving over to an account, and on the account record here, I want to show you our purpose-built sales agent, also called sales assistant. This does not require Agentforce, so you can quickly adopt it. And it's essentially available on the lead, contact, account, and opportunity record as well. And it saves time in qualifying this account, learning about this account, learning about its competitors, and a lot more. Now, One thing we've recently introduced here is what we call talk track. So every rep needs to understand, well, hey, what's the best approach? What's the most impactful approach for me to convert this buyer and to be relevant and move the account further? So the talk track combines insights from the Salesforce activity history. I can pre-select data on the record or related records I want to put into, and it looks at the intent of the buyer committee within the account in order to help me with the talk track. Now, while this is loading, I do want to show you quickly how the account insights here. So the insights are aggregated on the account level. So there are no accounts. Accounts are companies, but there's people, and the account's interests are essentially the interest of this account, of these people. So here we see, vast interest. We have product-related or integration-related interest. We have, again, feature interest. I'll be able to see, well, which people or contacts or buyers have shown this particular interest. But here, if I go a little bit up, the talk track, of course, is ready, and it's honestly very fast. But it's going to summarize these activities that we've seen. And we see here, hey, there has been engagement with Agentforce webinar invitation. So right there. Now we see high engagement in emails around Salesforce Marketing Cloud, particularly. And if I go down, again, I was just going to find this right here. There is a strong purchasing propensity. We have a likeliness to meet score of 100 linked to that. And we see that there is campaign interest around our Agentforce App Exchange campaign. But very interesting here is it tells me now the recommended next sales action is tailor communications towards this integration interest, right? So Salesforce, of course, key partner for us, makes total sense. And this is real data from real engagement from our partners. It says as well here to engage them directly. It's linking it to the likeliness to meet score. So really a purpose-built, very intelligent agent. Let's move over now to Agentforce. Here I'm in my sandbox. So we have built an agent. We've built an agent that's, in fact, also assisting internal teams. It's also a sales agent. Same use case, essentially, but I want to show you how our data here integrates really nicely already. And I'm launching my agent right there. So I'm going to say here, hey, well, get me these insights. And we're in a sandbox, so we have a little bit less resources here. It's maybe going to take just a bit. So Cyril, what's next after this webinar? I know a lot of people want to learn about Agentforce and so on. Do you have some tips for resources here for the audience?
Yeah, so one easy one. Easy one is following on LinkedIn, maybe searching for the keywords, the hashtag on Agentforce. So you will see plenty of people sharing news, innovations, maybe proof of concepts. So you can be, you can gain knowledge from your network, and you can also read some blog posts. So I will list one of them, maybe the most famous one in the ecosystem, Salesforce Ben. And again, you will have plenty of thought leaders that will share their vision and their knowledge. And sometimes also the limitation of the solution. It's good to know. Don't be afraid to say what is not working that well. We are in it's a cool ecosystem. We love the solution that we can say what is not working. It's okay.
That's right. So here we can see how Agentforce has tapped into the account information and the buyer intent. And it's summarizing everything nicely to the sales rep. And I want to point out the offering interest section, which shows feature interest in specific integrations we have. It shows me buying signals. It's grouping this. What are the buying signals we have seen, and when did we see these particular buying signals? Which webinars has there been interest in? But more importantly now, it also combines opportunity data, and it's recommending me to schedule a meeting. So it's telling me, hey, well, here's strong likelihood to meet, leverage strong webinar interest, upcoming webinars, make sure to share them. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, well, based on that, create a next best to do for me. So of course, this is a demo, but over time, of course, these agents will be able to liaise with other agents and so on. So here it's telling me schedule a meeting to discuss the marketing cloud integration, which correlates with the opportunity that is currently open and a high likeliness to me. Now maybe I'm like, well, that's great. So now I got my task, and by the way, you can automate that as well. Right, so you're able to say, well, in this case, well, do automatically create that task. You don't need to ask me to do that. And here as well, of course, I want to now reach out. It's going to say, hey, well, draft that email for me, please. Include 3 time slots. And it's thinking it's going to give me that email. And because it's deeply embedded into Salesforce, and well, guess what? It's Mark Benioff. It's going to tell me to, it's going to give me that option. Some time slots. So here you see in October, maybe a bit far down the road, but that's where the fine tuning comes in, and experts like you, Cyril. So I can then just go and send the email or copy the draft and edit it.
October is a perfect timing. It's right after Dreamforce, so you will have plenty of additional innovations to share.
That is right. That is right. So we're approaching the end. We want to thank everybody, and you, Cyril. Thanks a lot. I hope.